Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Roxana and I am the person behind Soil and Margaritas. I garden in central Indiana in Zone 5, and today I'm just going to show you really quick how to wake up my elephant ear corms. I visit my local store, grocery store, Meijer, and I actually found a really good deal. I found these elephant ear corms for $10 only, $9.99. And to be honest, these can get really expensive. If you find them at your local blue or orange stores, they can range from $14 all the way to $20 depending on the variety. And I was just happy that I found them for $10 at Meijer. So I got a couple. I actually already have one here that it's in this container with regular potting mix, and I have a liner that I found at Home Depot. So I am just going to show you really quick how I am going to get this going. And if you have never done this before, you're going to find out that they're super easy to do. These things are really strong plants. So I am going to use potting mix. I am definitely not going to be using seed starting mix. I am going to use a regular potting mix, whatever you have on hand, whichever one you prefer that you have available, use that. It doesn't matter what the texture is, just use a good quality potting mix that you can use, and that's basically what I'm going to be using today. And if you have been around, or if this is your first video that you're watching, I like to start with potting mix, whether if I'm using seed starting mix or potting mix. I like to use semi-wet soil because I don't like to deal with any of the dry dust that I can be moving around as I work with it. This is just a personal choice. I know that a lot of people that I follow online, they start with a dry potting mix or seed starting mix. It's just a personal choice, really. Perfect. So this is a 2-gallon container that I purchased at Home Depot. I like to save my containers that I get perennials or shrubs throughout the year. I love to save them. However, I don't have any on a good size available. And by a good size, I mean something that is big enough where your corm can stay for the rest of the weeks in here growing. I am not going to pot this up, so whatever I use has to be big enough for me to use, and it has to be big enough that I know that it's not going to be running out of space soon. So a 2-3 gallon container, if you have one or if you can purchase one, is going to work perfect. The container that I use already has drainage holes, but if you're using something that doesn't have any holes for drainage, just make sure to make some. And I probably have about this much of soil at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it there. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place my corm right in the middle. And if you see here, right here, this corm has a perfect line of circles here going. That's the top of the corm. And the bottom looks like something that was already chopped off. That's where the roots came out. This is the way that this corm was growing in the ground or wherever they had it growing. This is the top and this is the bottom. But if you're unsure, if you buy a corm that you're not sure where the top is or where the bottom is, just put it sideways. The branches, the new growth of the corm, they're going to find their way up as they grow. And if you're unsure, just put it sideways. But right here, I can clearly see that the circles here, they are perfectly formed. This is the top, and this weird looking mess right here, even has some roots that are going, that's the bottom. So I am going to place this in my container, just making sure that I have at least a couple of inches of soil from the bottom of the corm. And I am going to place it in the middle, and I'm just going to make sure that I have plenty of soil around the corm. And as I am filling the sides around the corm with soil, I am just tapping the soil gently, just making sure that it's not, that I don't have any spaces there where the oil didn't reach. This corm, it's a little bit taller than usual, so ideally I would like to have at least 1 or 2 inches of soil on top of the top of the corm. But this is going to work fine. This is going to be just fine. And what I'm going to do is that I am not going to keep this on my shelves where I have my LED lights. But these, once they break through, once the new growth breaks through the soil, is going to need light. I am going to keep it in this room where it's warm. This is a tropical, so it needs moisture, it needs warmth, and it's going to basically require those two things to wake up. And when I was at Home Depot, I got these liners. You can find these at any supplier where you get your houseplants. They have these liners, and these are basically, this liner is basically going to be holding my container. I'm going to keep this on the side of the shelves where they can get some light when they start breaking through. And I am going to keep this water. I'll probably water these twice a week or so. I just want to make sure that this doesn't dry out completely. I want to keep it moist. I want to keep it warm. And here in a few weeks, hopefully I can show you some new growth where this corm is finally waking up. And also, I like to write what it is and when I started here, just so that I know that once they start growing, you're not going to get them confused with something else. But just in case, if you are asking yourself, well, when can I take this outside and transplant it? And how long before that can I start it indoors? Depending on your growing zone, if you have a really long growing season, you might just be able to put this either in a container if you want to keep it in a container, or in the ground directly in it. However, if you want to wake the corm inside, I will suggest that you start doing that around the time where you start your peppers or your tomatoes. It's a very good window there when you can start waking this up, and you're going to have a very nice grow on your corms, on your elephant ears. Last year was the first year that I tried growing these elephant ears indoors, and last year I started them in the middle of March. I was able to put them outside around the beginning of May, and they were nice, huge plants. However, this year I want to see how much bigger I can get them to be. I'm only going early about 3 weeks or so, but for my zone, I'm able to take all of my tomatoes outside around the beginning of May. So when I do that, I'm also able to take my elephant ears outside where they're going to be. So that's it for this video, you guys. I hope that if you guys are interested in growing elephant ears, that you got inspired, or maybe got a few tips on how to do this indoors. And if you are trying that for the first time, or if you have been growing elephant ears for the past few years, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, if you're not subscribed, maybe today is the day. Thank you for being here, and until the next time.